My Little Pony is back for G5 with My Little Pony: A New Generation. Except in this movie, the ponies are not friends anymore. The three races, Pegasi, Unicorns, and Earth Ponies, have been divided, and it's up to Sunny Starscout to figure out how to put them back together. So, we just watched it twice, and we're gonna lay out all of our thoughts here. Get comfy, grab some popcorn, and let's enjoy ourselves.
Woo!
Okay then. Alright, so real quick thoughts on what we felt about the other movies up to now, at least from G4. The Equestria Girls movies, I thought they were alright movies. I thought they got the job done. I thought they were all direct-to-DVD movies in their DNA. I don't think there's as much variation between them in quality as fans sometimes like to say, all that stuff about how the first movie, how dare you rip off Disney Channel original movies, how dare you think that that's what we want, way to go second movie for not being that. We're gonna heap a ton of praise on that, and half of it is gonna be for the fact that it's not the first movie. I don't think you can find a single review of the second movie that doesn't mention the first movie in some derisive context there. I'm like, guys, you're looking in the wrong place here. Movies between seasons that have nothing to do with anything, don't enhance any point in the plot, invent conflicts to be there. Yeah, in the interim, they're all sellouts. They're all sellouts, and they're all cute, and they all have points to be enjoyed. They all have points that were enjoyable. They all have especially moments that you could tell they really put some effort into, and I mean, still, their plots, their marketing, they all follow really easy to read trends. Rainbow Rocks was every bit as guilty of trying to introduce something that would sell some toys that would, check off boxes that they'd seen this audience respond to, the Gem and the Holograms type, flashy band being part of that, glitter, dazzle. They were not, I think, as different as they were built up to be. The second one did take a few more chances, and I think was the more enjoyable of the two for that. A little better overall. And then the third one, I thought they continued to hit their stride, and it's my favorite of the three because I thought they built up to a lot of fun stuff, a lot of even couple passionate, heartfelt moments. So did appreciate that. The fourth one, I thought they kind of stopped caring about something the same way. It seemed like whether that was meant to shift the movies over to the more serialized format rather than be such a great movie in and of itself. It had a lot of scattered elements, and I didn't think any of them were done that well or that poorly, but that's the one that I thought was just well and truly a bore fest. But and you just kind of like all of them, right?
Yeah, I like all of them, and I think my favorite is the second one with the Dazzlings, right? That's the second one. And the one where Starlight, Glimmer, and Twilight became one, or how to say that, the big fight at the end. But that was actually the only thing that I remember from that whole movie, so I don't know if it's one of those shorts that you were talking about before. But yeah, I had
Equestria Girls got pretty complicated.
Yeah, I had a couple of the ones with the one with the wallflower. It has nothing to do with the movies. I just found out.
I said, a very direct-to-DVD sort of franchise trying to launch its own separate brand of marketability, but enjoyable stuff. They were trying with most of those. And then the G4 movie, I did not like that very much. I kind of thought it blew it. I thought it was like the comedian that gets nervous backstage and then tries to psych themselves up and force themselves to really go out and kill it, nail that delivery by being extra frantic, extra loud, extra try-hard, and rushing through any point they sense or even imagine audience boredom rather than trying to just, own whatever it is they came up with. No, they had, it was rushing through itself as fast as possible, and then nervous comedian really lingering on those punchlines, on those over-delivered punchlines, and that was just so funny, right? Not conscious of what they're doing or how they're coming across beyond the fact that they're trying not to seem lame. So, I don't know, I thought it was corny, yeah, rapid fire in the worst way possible and just not very well delivered. It had its fleetingly positive qualities, and the villain was probably the best part, the best realized of the bunch, and so much of that was just in Emily Blunt's performance, because even the introduction of her was ridiculously abrupt, and yeah, like the 4 scenes before it had not in any way connected to what became before or after, but what are you gonna do? However,
we got this. No, I'm kidding. He doesn't like that song. But
I think 3 of the songs in the movie were okay.
Yeah, you like.
And one of them was "They Got the Beat," because that's just "They Got the Beat." So
yeah,
man.
and you also like "Open Up Your Eyes" from the villains, which I think like he's right with that. The villain carries all of this movie, especially from the start. Like, it's an amazing start. Like, the villains just coming crashing everything, and then the movie just happens. Or how to say that. I like them being underwater too. That was interesting and beautiful. I think there was a lot of scenes that I really liked with beautiful scenery, and also like the designs of the ponies. And then we come to the end, and here me and Sigurd is split too, because like I don't like the Shira song. I like the fight that they have with the Storm King, and that's basically it.
Yeah, I
for
thought
me.
the whole last act was by far the best, because it seemed like going through the motions of a final act. It was like, that was.
Yeah,
I think Sia's song was another one of the ones that was passable. It didn't make me think that, lame from beginning to end. I thought it was. It sounded like an okay Sia song, so.
Yeah, well, like,
match the bittersweet tone of the ending. So it's
just
weird that that's what they saved Sia the whole time to do, just sort of a like a fade to black sort of song, more so than like a triumphant, huge, explosive finale song. But as you can see, though, the movie is very, very polarizing, and for every reason under the sun, and like.
But it's nice to hear it defended right after you said like you didn't like it, so
defend is a relative term.
I get what I like got for it, I guess.
Right.
And now for the generation that could.
Yeah, well, that's kind of fits, because now this time later with some of the same creative forces on this movie. Okay, short answer, yeah, I thought it was better than the last one. I thought it was indeed kind of good, and I thought that, I was especially nervous going in with how they want to do that that prejudiced angle again, because before now that was just something the last generation kind of tried when it was coming up with ideas, I guess, to try to live up to what the new production team thought was expected of them, live up to the acclaim, to the giant fan base, which
It just seems a pity for unicorns to waste their talents on something so inconsequential. We are the most powerful ponies in the land. Don't you ever feel you're destined for more than performances?
Yeah, the production team changed hands about 3-4 times, and you could kind of tell, like, that's kind of why the idea that, okay, Earth ponies, Pegasi, and unicorns are different, so prejudices, or maybe that's why the city they have stands for so much good, that why it's a special city, because it values differences. Before that, the title was Friendship is Magic. The thing about differences was more, okay, how the friendship involves compromise and also enjoying each other's differences, and prejudices showed up at once in a blue moon. That was one of the lessons that they valued checking off, like a different character would show up from a different land, and they would have to cross that bridge. But you could tell the clear shift there, and you could tell how they were kind of uncomfortable with it in the back half of G4, because it was very non-committal, very hand-waving, and this commits.
My mom says the Pegasi and unicorns try to eat up all the Earth ponies by zapping them with lasers and frying them to a crisp. So the Earth ponies kick their butts in an epic battle, and if they ever try to come back to Maritime Bay, we'll kick their butts again.
Those are lies. Hitch, tell him.
Well, that is kind of what our teacher said in history class.
This, in fact, especially in the first half, this is gunning for modern day culture, modern day prejudices and norms, and some arrows hit, let's say. But how right from the start, Karen Pony comes by to collect her kid from main character Sunny Star Scout and her open-minded dad, who's who's looked into a lot where they might have gone wrong with his research. I don't like you brainwashing our kids. It's called research. He says oh so confidently, research intelligence, that's brainwashing. Earth ponies first is a phrase that Sunny has grown up with. Even nice ponies roll with it because, what they say, how they're not comfortable, like Sunny's friend, the sheriff, is not comfortable going against it because it kind of just feels bigger than he is. It feels like somebody smarter than he is must have thought of it. It's the way it is for a reason, right? And most importantly, it sells. There is a whole factory. Karen Pony owns a factory that sells useless devices that are in theory supposed to help you protect yourself from the magical unicorns and the flying pegasi who are going to zap your brains in or abduct you like hawks, swoop down and whisk you away. And it's very easy to get yourself new consumers with this marketing strategy, this tribalism, this thought of being part of something that needs to beat the other sells. They say that with no shyness whatsoever. They dig some of those hooks in. They don't let the heroes who, even Sunny, who is we find out after the time skip where her dad is gone because of course she's apparently been gearing up to fight this for a long time, and she doesn't have much to say besides empty platitudes, besides their stuff that she never backs up. They're not our enemies. You've been lied to. This defense stuff is useless. Wouldn't it be great if you had friends who could do unique things? And they don't really think about digging into deeper themes, deeper lessons to learn here, maybe calling prejudice out in a way that in defending it makes the bad guys expose themselves for what they really are, what's really up here. And that's a warning sign of things to come, but the first act gets in a lot of deep digs, I'll say. Even Sunny herself, when we finally bring a unicorn in to get this plot going, it turns out has some implicit prejudices.
Except for this, of course.
Whoa, hey, be careful where you point that thing.
Why? Well, I, sorta don't want to get zapped with a wayward laser beam.
But of course you know that already. You've probably been reading my mind this whole time.
Yeah, but she needed to be a little bit careful because like the only things that she had heard is prejudices, so maybe she's like not thinking about it but still having it back in her brain that maybe it wasn't that smart.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things you learn as you go, and she does, but that's a very relatable thing, because I mean everybody, that's how prejudice works. You have to start somewhere. You can only go by what you know, and I think heck, as much as people say, darn wokeness, when is it gonna stop? Well,
when it's going to begin, that's the question. But I also had
best
like
line of this review. You can go home now, folks. But other things this movie does well, or at least exceptional for this franchise and movies. Well, most of all, pacing.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's true. We were so happy.
Very much. But it takes its time at the beginning to lay out Sunny's situation and why we should like her and why we should trust that she knows what she's talking about instead of just being the know-it-all or the goody two-shoes or such. And like I said, this how it shows how ingrained this problem is and how, why we should be psyched up to not like it and want it to stop. And it's still kind of brisk. It drops Izzy the unicorn on us pretty suddenly, but it laid out everything that she is up against that matters because that matters in the face of her showing up before she got there. Each scene is good for as much as anything, how it plays off of the previous one. I mean, you might have seen other shows, movies, whatever, go this route before, but this particular one and this particular point is that much better because of how it interacts with everything that's been set up. Everything builds, and I mean, if that sounds like just how a movie works, yeah, trust me, the G4 movie did not do that. I mean, it was like barely a line, if even that, in the first act was the cue for the next scene to start. The next scene that otherwise had nothing to do with anything. It was pretty try-hard. But, okay, so obviously then I like the pacing here much better, and I also like the humor a lot better. It was such a relief. I mean, it goes, I mean, it is in the style of a 21st century story. It, like, delights in silliness a little bit. It delights in sort of that, get it, like, yeah, ain't that so wacky, ain't that character so stupid, but it's so unforced. It's charming. It's confident enough to just tell a joke, and once it gets it out, just keep going.
Unicorn attack!
It doesn't need to linger forever on the setup. It doesn't need to pause and, like, give you a chance to laugh or, like, exaggerate the delivery so much, like... Yeah, no making anyone's voice as frantic as possible, no making anyone's face as frantic as possible.
Your son is safe now, ma'am.
This isn't my kid!
You're welcome!
Like, yeah, no, we're trying to be really funny. That guy is so wacky. It does not play like that at all. It plays like they took the time to think of something that would get a laugh and played it out and were just satisfied with what they did. It reigns in the franticness and the levels of try-hard that, you know, this franchise has sometimes been guilty of hitting, and, you know, heck, a lot of franchises lately, I think the style of humor is one that we're a little bit prone to at this point in time, but it reins it back into charming, and there's better, don't get me wrong. I mean, I've laughed a lot harder at other things, but I will more than take this. I was satisfied there. But even got away with unicorn butts.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, rings.
And purple is my 7th favorite color. That got you good.
That was pretty clever. Like what Izzy says that she can see characters' luminescence. I think is what she called it. And, yeah, Sunny's is lavender, and then later she's telling the live stream obsessed pony that hers is aquamarine, and she's aquamarine. That's like my 6th favorite color.
It's got him good.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just like I mean, if it had been like, Izzy is so wacky, she's so upset, like, look at all the bling she does, look at how obsessed with stupid, useless stuff she is, and then, like, you are, such and such, that's like my live stream last week in aquamarine, that's like my 6th favorite color. I mean, that is how many other shows, movies, for kids animated would have pulled that, and they didn't. They just, like, got it out there that it's exactly what this very, for lack of a better word, like, vapid character would say, or it's along the lines of, they'd say, like, keeps track of so many favorite colors they can rattle off their top 6. But, and like that and considers it something to be happy about when you score in the top 10. Like, but they don't need to hammer that home. They say the line and they let that speak for that. They trust you to get it, which. Yeah. Boy.
Can I say something about the pacing?
Please do.
I also thought it was really smooth. I only think there was one time where we got the Izzy song that, like, abruptly started, but it was nice, so I didn't have anything against it. And all of the other songs is, like, going smoothly too. What we're going to say, the humor, I really appreciate. There's no, like, poop humor or, like, gross humor. There's the butt joke and stuff like that, but it's not like where it's like, Yeah, too
Well,
much.
see, you can do that as long as you make it funny, as far as
Yes.
I'm concerned. Like,
Yes,
I mean,
but it-
we just saw Centaur World, for example, which reveled in fart jokes, and it seemed like it thought them through as far as it's that kind of show. So we get to be silly and shameless, and then just threw in every first draft of every tangent they came up with while giggling back and forth at each other. Like, I'll spare you the trouble
like,
of going into it.
it's
But I
funny
mean, like,
to
take
talk
that
about
and,
it.
like, yeah, sit down and watch Eddie Murphy's scene in Nutty Professor where he's all the characters, and as the dad, he's driving everyone nuts passing gas at the dinner table, and I
I
mean,
still don't like that. I still don't think it's...
yeah, see, if you have good timing, I can roll with it. I mean, like,
Yeah, it's
and I mean, he's
not
just
my
like,
cup of
it,
tea.
he builds the momentum, and I'm willing to let him have it. He's,
But like,
I'll do whatever I want in my house. Case in point. And the grandma who's delirious. Hey, did you call me? Yeah, I called you if your name is.
but yeah, I really do think like Izzy is the humor here with you. Yeah, we will come on to that later on when we're talking about the characters.
Yeah, frantic humor or like silly, absent-minded, clueless character humor. You can do that as long as it's funny. As long as you know, weave it in. You have your subtle, quick delivery. You have your point where you're not just doing it because it's something you saw somebody else do, so you're gonna do it with more franticness, so it must be really funny then, right? Like, I don't have time to delve into theories of comedy, but I mean,
Oh,
yeah, like, same principle applies. They, yeah, do it because they took the time to think of something that would get a laugh, that was clever, that wasn't overcooked, so I liked it. You could argue the second half, or like the last act, whatever it was, that's where I thought it kind of became more functional than anything else. That, yeah, it's, it kind of settles for the generic, like, as far as the payoff to the prejudice angle, like its final stances on that is, well, they are suffering from fearfulness. And okay, look, I'm big into Tai Chi. I've been studying that for the past 11 years now. That's one of the core philosophies there. I love spins on that stuff. That, yeah, fear is a base, lower level sort of thought process, sort of emotion. It, you can't build better, higher level, more capable setups off of that because its job is to, give you a very base, very animal instinct sort of reaction, a very, it's a very baseline level thought process where, what creates better world, better societies, better scenarios for yourself is a more mindful, balanced, dimensional approach, a more positive one, like positivity, built from positivity, etc., etc., etc. You see, I love that stuff. I think that this movie just throws it on the table there, like the last 10 movies that did it. Like Zootopia, like Paranorman, like The Flippin' Croods, like M. Night Shyamalan. Yeah, they fear, people buy into prejudice because of fear. Fear owns you, fear does fear stuff. You've heard us pontificate on it before, and, well, it's that. And that's kind of embodied by the shift onto Sprout, the son of the Karen Pony, as the main antagonist.
Mommy, your son's now Emperor of Maritime Bay.
Yesterday, you were only the sheriff.
Well, see how fast I'm climbing the ranks?
Oh, dear.
we have the Karen Pony from Jen.
Yeah, our friend Jen called her the Karen Pony in the DC
So
React
that's
group,
what she
and that
thinks
fits.
it's called.
Yeah, I'm sure she had a real name somewhere, but
It's Karen Pony.
yeah, forever. But yeah, her more complex prejudices, her biases, all the really almost too relatable stuff they were getting at with her in the first act. She is now permitted to realize the error of those.
Yes.
Yeah, on her own, to herself, off on the side, while Sprout, she promotes him to sheriff, and then he's sort of, Sunny's friend hitches away looking for her, and he sort of takes over as the main antagonist, and they let it be simplified into his problem, which is just that he's a panicky idiot.
The unicorns could come back. They could even bring the Pegasi. We are all in danger.
That, he's suffering from fearfulness. He wants it to be he wants it to come down to a big goofy climax fighting his big doofy robot. Is where they go with that.
His Trojan horse.
He whips everyone up into a frenzy. Yeah, and then his plan is to lead his angry mob with his giant, mecha suit made out of wood to bump into things and to fling goo. Fling Nickelodeon slime at the ponies he doesn't like, and that, I don't know, I guess there's a fleeting gag there, how when you can sell anyone on this stuff, because we've all seen now that you can on pretty much anything, how you can whip them up into where they are Nazis who don't realize they're Nazis. They pull out the good old Nazi symbolism and
out of my...
which would hit harder if it was not side by side with it's that fear again, you know how this works by now, and it's fear, and it's the same old fear problem, and they're the same old Nazis, and but I mean, there's a point, at first it's kind of entertaining,
Wrong! Numbers make you strong! Millions can't be wrong! Especially when they're screaming loudly.
Okay, this stuff can indeed get that stupid, and these characters can get that clueless, that naively harmful, but like I said, the stuff they were digging their hooks into with the Karen pony, she passes the main antagonist role onto Sprout while she gradually shifts towards, okay, honey, you're getting a little carried away now, and okay, so if he hadn't, would it still have been right?
I don't think so. But for her, maybe. But that's also what I was... Can I say something? Because I was thinking about this is such a strong message to parents of children, not to put their prejudice on their children, and not to put too much power and responsibilities all at once on a person that's maybe not ready. Sprite is not ready for all of this. He's and then he lets the fear take over, because he has also been fearing, all of the things that his mom and your ponies has been saying. So it's fear breeds fear.
He becomes a competent fearmongerer who the others go from where's Hitch to suddenly willing to follow when he goes full panic.
Yes.
And gives into that.
And where have we seen that before? We have seen it in The Wave, the Wale.
If you don't know the story of The Wave, it's based on something that actually happened right here in the States. This teacher attempted to answer the question of, how could Nazi fascism have possibly gotten going by inconspicuously, I guess, saying that the next day that they realized the era of democracy, so the school was implanting a new program where they would have to use more order, more protocol, address him by title, and report anyone who didn't follow the ways of the Wave, and he whipped them up into highly passionately following this. I mean, it is with fascism, don't get me wrong, it always is the same old story on some level, but I mean, okay, you actually want to be something relevant, have relevant messages, okay, you gotta dig your hooks into something particular. I would have been more impressed if what they'd struck out at the end after, showing us a pretty good mirror, holding up a pretty good mirror to a lot of our problems today. I would have been more impressed, for example, if they'd gone after the tribalism, if they'd gone after the joy that people seem to feel in getting behind the notion of victory, of this, triumph, beating down somebody else who doesn't conform to the idea of you, the entity, deserve all the rewards and all the protection and all the such and such. It's yours. It's not theirs. It's yours. And it's like nailing them for the fact that they're in favor of ignorance, in favor of doing things worse, of dumber, crueler, and just all the way around more short-term thinking rewards that are fleeting at best, so that you can achieve this this Ferric victory that represents the idea of a victory and the fleeting benefits for you.
Before I say it's like, this is too easy, like people would never like change like that and be so empty-headed. I will recommend watching the Wave or the Vale.
We all know by now they would. I just would have appreciated more of a particular. I would have appreciated them getting at something a little more relevant and a little less vague and generic.
Yeah, but I think like that would have maybe been too much.
I don't know. I mean, I think shows, movies like Luca, for example, they were willing to go deeper, hit harder. You want to be one of the things that's valued above others for having something to say, for bringing more power to the table. You gotta go there on some level.
I guess you're right,
It's my take anyway. Alright, and actually though, I mean, it's worth noting that, Sprout's takeover does start at least at the halfway point, maybe even earlier, but where I'm reluctant to say that that's where it became just functional, as there was other stuff there to keep it going. Like we saw a lot of with Sunny on this quest, how Pegasus Society works and how they are also benefiting from the tribalism.
Every pony knows that only royals can fly, of course. I know, it's not fair, but that's just the way it is. If there was some way we could teach the citizens to fly, we would in a wing beat. Right, Zip?
Yeah, in a wing beat.
And from how you keep other citizens in line and all that, to get them to do what you want in their own way, and what else? Hitch's arc coming around. Hitch, the first friend we meet, who is the sheriff, and is kind of pro status quo, but is also a good guy who really does care about his friend, and seeing how he starts to come around, seeing how Unicorn Society sucks, but they want it that way. They don't want to change again because of the digging into how things are, how you
but the idea of
coalesced around them being, and what bonding between the characters there was, but
but I was just like, the idea of like monarchs not being trustworthy is not a new age thing either.
Time.
Let them eat cake.
True as it can be. Except let them eat cake. She didn't say that. That was somebody trying to make her sound bad, even if that was kind of accurate, probably. Something
kind of worked.
That too. But as far as I said what bonding there was. They had some fun there, but that brings us to the new characters.
Yay.
The 5 who are going to be carrying the torch this generation for this fan base.
And all of the shipping. No, I'm just kidding.
I thought they needed work. I thought they pulled out shades of qualities that a fan base could rally around, that fans could get behind, really grow to like. I don't think the movie brought enough to the table on its own to make them, like, I don't think there was too much here that fans are gonna go into the show like, oh, I can't wait to see them continue that, do more with that. I think it's gonna be more like, okay, what is a show going to do? I think it's gonna have to do some of the heavy lifting to make them not only nice characters, but like franchise-worthy characters, kind of like the last cast was. For a long while, anyway. The 2 I think that did the best were Izzy Moonbow, the unicorn, the enthusiastic, energetic unicorn, and Hitch, the sheriff best friend we've already talked about. Izzy with her effervescence. No, I said it right, effervescence. And Hitch with his character arc. Because, I mean,
thought we were taking them one at a time, but sure, go.
Okay, well, all right, fine. Izzy, first off, I think she's in danger of becoming Pinkie Pie light with her, kind of eagerness, her franticness in neither a good or bad sense, just, hyperactive, attention scattered sort of enthusiasm for stuff. I think there's a nest egg in the more, like I said, Pinkie Pie light, and it is more restrained, but there's sort of a nest egg of a different direction in that, a more Fluttershy-ian, people pleaser sort of quality.
They're not playing. They're terrified. Oh no. But what? You! Can you make this float?
No, but I can do this.
Like, Pinkie, it took her a while, I think, to realize that she might have messed up, and she was like, and she would be concerned once she realized that, and then either be dashing off to the next solution, or, if she felt really bad, then falling into a depression. But when Sunny tells Izzy, like, all the unicorns or all the ponies are scared. Oh no, of what? Of you? It's more of a softer, more immediately sweet sort, like, people pleaser sort of quality that she has, and then, instead of candies and cakes, that, okay, let's have a blast, partying it up, eating stuff, she's more like arts and crafts. She, there does seem to be a distinct character wanting to form around that as sort of the attention span deprived creative, like the scatterbrained creative who just wants to bring a more sweet brand of fun to the table, who wants to come and make the decorations for your party and have a lot of fun, play the hopscotch game, be responsible for the party games and the board games and the fun stuff you're gonna do, but is really interested in whether you're gonna say thank you so much, I'm so happy now.
Here we don't agree with each other again. with all of the things that you said. I will come to the character, but I will say something like you did in the start with them missing something. I think this is a nice slice of cake to make a metaphor for the big cake that we're going to get with the episodes and the show that's going to come out of this. Because I thought all of the characters were amazing. I feel there's something with layers. You started with something else too.
Nope, I said
with
Izzy.
Layers too.
Fine.
And I think there was definitely more that meets the eye without being but then we come to Izzy. I do agree with second with her being a mixture of Pinkie Pie and Rarity. I also see a little bit of Sweetie Belle in there, but maybe that's just me, because I like the notion of having a little sprinkle of all of the characters that we once had in the new show, and I think we have the same three main characters that we like. I have Sunny first, but because she reminds me so much of myself. But elsewise, Izzy is one of my favorites from the show. I think she's really funny. She had the most catchy song. That's the most catchiest of all of the songs.
Oh no, I disagree, but we'll get to the songs.
Oh no, there's also the song. Next for me.
Hitch. He's the other one I thought stood out, and him for his character arc, because as the one sort of enforcing the status quo at the beginning, a fair amount of the tension is on him, and it comes from him, and the fact that they set him up as also the kind friend, the one who does care about his friend on some level, and still wants that, still means it when he says he cares about her. It is kind of gratifying to see him become receptive over time. I mean, there's better, but I mean, it's, you know, not only a fun conflict in itself, it is something that even past this point sort of persists within him, that he has like arrogance, overconfidence, and the desire to do a really good job within the system, which could be a good thing sometimes, and often is why everybody respects him. And then at the same time, he also, you know, he's not stupid. He's able to realize as the movie goes on that he has some worthwhile friends here, and that he's been starting to value them and appreciate, yeah, their good qualities as well. So I mean, there's, yeah, kind of an interesting split within him that, you know, when it goes in the direction you want to see it go, is pretty gratifying. So I think that's a pretty good start there. He might even be the most fully formed for what he is. It's it'll be interesting to see.
Again, I see mixtures here with like Applejack, Shining Armor, Fluttershy, and Scootaloo. I know that's a lot to take in.
People are going to say Rainbow Dash just because of the arrogance.
No, that's more later on. We'll come to that. But yeah, I don't think... Maybe a little bit, I don't know. Maybe a little sprinkle. Whatever. I wanted to go to, like... I really enjoy his character too, like him being leaderish without being the leader, like Sunny overtaking that space, but him still like trying to help, and the cute animals following him, like almost like Fluttershy does with the animals, and him like changing his mind when he finds out that Sunny is not going to yield, and he can see some reason in what they're doing, which reminds me of Shining Armor. Yeah, that's how I see it. And also like the Scootaloo's like, go get it.
So you like him too, and you're especially interested in the kind of mashup he is of all the old characters.
Yeah.
That feels a little obligatory to me, like mashing up the old characters, but I'm sure lots of fans are going to find a lot of value in it. And it is there. Like in Zip, for example, who, like I said, no, not like Izzy, where I think, yeah, they could go Pinkie Pie light, but they could also, yeah, take advantage of the nest egg they had here. I think that a show is going to have to do all the heavy lifting most of the heavy lifting if they want her to become her own unique sort of a presence. I thought she pretty much came off as Rainbow Dash Light here. I mean, I'm sure they had variations in mind, like how she's the first to trust Sunny, that she is someone who values right and wrong, that she does sort of have that, need to be a good princess, mom, I'm not like you, dynamic with her mom. But I mean, they take it as far as laying out the groundwork of why she's going to be one of the protagonists here. The stuff about her that really pops all that much at all is just how she gets in, like, fleetingly a couple moments of sassiness, a couple moments of stubbornness or whatnot, and then pretty much got upstaged by her sister from there, I thought. But yeah, I think she got as far as coming off like Rainbow Dash Light, and I think if the franchise going from here wants her to come across as more than that, as someone the fans are really going to get behind, then I think they've got some catching up to do. They might they're going to have to take some of the stuff that maybe in theory was here but never really jumped off the page that they wrote it on, and really pump it up into something that you could see creating a unique presence, kind of like with Izzy. I'll follow up on that Pip kind of upstaging her line, because on Zip.
I don't agree with that. I actually think like Zip overtook her sister's role, but
Zip shows up first.
Yes, we disagree hard on this. With the introduction of her, I actually thought that she was flying. Like, I didn't nothing had me to believe that they couldn't fly. Spoiler alert. I think we are way past that. But and then there's also when they come to the Unicorn City and them keeping quiet for her, then her coming with the book later on and being like, okay, you did this for me, I'm going to do this for me. That's, yeah, as you said, like, it is Rainbow Dash, it's the loyalty, but with like a little bit more subtlety, if that makes any sense to you. And then there's the where they're going to get the crown, and she's willing to stand in front, like take it in front of a whole bunch of ponies. I know that the mom doesn't see that, but a bunch of ponies, and run from her city where she lives out with strange ponies that she doesn't know that much, for an idea that is like something that she realized that's wrong, you know, with the magic not being there and her not being able to fly. She's willing to almost give up where she is coming from, where the sister is not willing to give that up completely. And her, as you said, not like standing up to her mom and being like, no, this is what is needing to be happening, because I now trust my friends and I want to go and like take care of all of this.
New kind of rebellious, I bend the rules sort of
Yes.
the pony. They're, like, her top loyalty is to her friends and what's right. I mean, they
Yes.
could have that. Like I said, they only really got as far here as like was
Yes, but
plot
that's-
necessary for like the story of why, like how she joins the main characters, how they're
Yes.
able to progress this any further. They don't really emphasize too much like how much tension is on her, how much pressure is on her or anything. They don't really like make it. You'd think there would be. They don't emphasize that. They don't tell that story particularly. They don't you know, make that something that you really have to latch onto, where Zippus can turn. It's the focus is necessary if you want to make a unique and compelling character out of Zip,
Well,
because
like,
instead it's like the focus is on how
mom.
she serves functionally to get the device to the main heroes. That somebody who pops a lot more is her sister Pip, who no, like right away they give you a very strong identity for what kind of character this is. The very live stream obsessed, very attention obsessed, very showmanship obsessed sort of a character. I mean, you're not supposed to see yourself in her the way you are some of the other ones you're supposed to see. You're supposed to say, she's someone like that. Sure, still a very strong identity. Still at least something that you can latch onto. Sort of where I say where I don't put her in the same category though as Izzy or Hitch is in the fact that I think it's kind of like the first time we see Rarity, like, oh, they're trying to check the fashion box, like Pip, it's like they're trying to check the live stream box, even though, all of her live streams and her songs and her, songs singular, her one-liners they do from there, I think, pop a lot more than Zip from where she shows up, but kind of like Rarity when we first see her, oh, that's the box they're trying to check. I think she's gonna need her own suited for success kind of episode, to put us behind her the same way they eventually put us behind Rarity. I think though, we can agree that said, she's the one you come off maybe the least interested in being into from this point.
Like, I do agree with you that she has strong character, but she just reminds me of like any other. Like, I know that it's become more modernized to have like people like being streams and
stereotypes,
stereotypically with all of this.
Rarity.
And I also think like it's nice where she goes and she talks with Hitch and they actually bond and they agree with each other and stuff like that. And she helps Sunny dance later on. But I don't think, like, besides that and the song and her hanging from the ceiling being in the tabloids.
And her show.
Yeah, I don't feel for her the same way that I do for the other ponies. I think it's the other way around with the sister. What in the world was that?
Okay, so now that we've been shot at. Okay, let's move on to Sunny.
Yeah, best character.
Okay, I thought that she had more of a strong identity as the uniter and everything, the one who has to undertake this mission, than a strong personality, at least from beginning to end, that we really get the sense of. And the reason is that they kinda... As far as every moment that the focus is on her, they kind of make the focus of her in just carrying the load and, being responsible for getting us from A to B, for solving the problem. That's a lot of what she has to interact off of. I think the moment she gets in that kind of funny moment where she's supposed to be calling out the unicorn who wins all the games, and then she's trying to do the tough guy at the bar and tea. Hold the milk. Okay, I do think it's kind of complicated. I don't think that she, came off giving us the, definitive going forward sense of, okay, this is Sunny, this is what she's gonna stand for, this is what you should get behind with her, but, okay, I think that, what can I say? She should probably check my notes here to find the words.
What is the fact that you think that she's an INFP?
Yeah, I mean, she,
we have this discussion because,
her...
It's so close.
You ruined my one-liner, see?
I'm sorry.
But, okay, I think they, at least especially in the beginning, established that, she just really has an optimism, a sincerity, an irrepressible ENFP goodwill that got her off to a really strong start here. I mean, I think that they could make her sort of a, in fact, I think they should make her a sort of Captain America type character that we really love to admire and cheer for, even in her conflicted moments, even in her moments, being the butt of a joke, like Earth Pony. Oh, don't worry, they're harmless. They have very small brains. And she goes from to, I think that, let her have reactions where she feels things like we all do. She feels conflicts and pain and, derision and all that. But I mean, keep her, well, heck, Captain America and the MCU movies had all that too. Keep her the kind of character that we still really love to admire and really love to root for, because I think that, they gave her a lot of really strong beginnings there. And, we were saying before, I said ENFP because, we spent a long time arguing about what Myers-Briggs type she would be. And,
you're going to love this. I actually started to agree with you.
ENFP versus ENFJ. They're very, very similar, and I mean very, very similar, but ENFP somehow came off as just a sort of flightier, more dreamer type goodwill in wanting the same things, and that's what sort of leaned me towards Sunny as opposed to someone who's more like analytical and specific, like plan and goal oriented. I think is supposed to be the difference with the ENFJ. So
the difference with me was like we had the discussion before, but where Second said like in the end she almost gives up. Where like ENFJ like me would have been like, oh, I can also try to do this with the crystals, or this with the crystals, or this with the this and this and this and this
to this darn goal point.
Yes.
And Sunny, like, she's more strictly feelings based than feelings based and action based.
I am also like really
Or, like,
feelings-based with certain things. But in this particular case,
She's an ENFJ if you
yeah,
didn't catch that.
but in this case, I think like I would have tried to get through all of my options with like, okay, I saw a unicorn, I saw a Pegasi with the stones, maybe it's a Pegasi and a unicorn with the stones, maybe they need to have a wing on one and a horn on the other stone. Like I would have been like going through a billion, as I said, like ideas of, and people were so tired of me. So that's it. Are you happy, Andy?
Yes. But yeah, it was like one is feelings-based first and actions-based second, and the other is the other way around. Like, yeah, there seems to be a lot of emphasis on how she feels stuff.
Again, it depends on with me what.
Yeah, how she's irrepressibly optimistic, even with her, job, her modest job, and her rejection by a lot of the town and all that. So I mean, there's stuff we could really latch on to there. There was a lot that was pretty cute with her, but yeah, I think the show would have to double back. Like, okay, no, remember how that's where we started out with her. That's why you should keep rooting for this character. You know, she is a true hero and all that. And I said at the beginning how towards the beginning of this, that is how they took their time with the pacing. They did that much better here, and that included with her, and they, you know, she did benefit a lot from that too, all those little touches with her.
Up high, down low, hitch it to a post, flip it sunny side up and on a piece of toast. Okay?
She still has her old toys, she still pays respect to her dad's memory, and yeah, straightens their picture just like he did. She's still close with Hitch, even with his reluctance, because, you know, the closeness is still mutual. She knows to give up on Sprout because he's a jag-off, but, anything else you want to add? She is your favorite after all.
Like, besides her being the mixture of Twilight and Sunburst, I have nothing more. We actually agree 100 with you.
Hey. Alright, how about the songs?
Well, besides the obvious one with the...
Thought they were enjoyable, but not particularly memorable. They were pleasant, they were not, like, just bland, or just lame, but, yeah, like, they were all pleasant there, but yeah. Sprouts, you started saying it already. Yeah, they're not memorable with the exception of Sprouts.
Better not let them catch you blinking. You don't need a reason. Fillies and gents, this is no time for sober thinking.
I mean...
Bobby of Scar song.
Yeah, well, the imagery, sure, but yeah, the guitar riff, like, people have said smells like Teen Spirit. I could have sworn I heard that exact guitar riff somewhere else, like note for note, and yeah, the fans who know music better than the ones who say, oh, smells like Teen Spirit, right, say, in Magic, because Smells Like Teen Spirit is a little different, dun 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 dun, where Sprouts, and fans who know music a little better than, oh, Smells Like Teen Spirit, right, they said, Self-Esteem by, what was it, Imagine, or Imagination, like, some band like that, and I looked that up, and I guess more or less, but, you know, if so, then the movie might have an argument for, okay, heavily inspired by, not directly lifted from, like, I'm pretty sure Pip's song was just a pop song that exists that I hear all the time without paying any attention, just with altered words, but Sprouts, I don't know, whatever the case, it is very, very memorable, gets in a lot of great one-liners to twist that knife in, so that's his moment. He brings down the house there, but yeah, the songs, they're neither rice bland like in the fourth Equestria Girls movie, nor like rock the house like, what, if you took all the best Equestria Girls songs across all the other movies, you'd probably get a pretty good highlights reel, but yeah, not that either, just like, yeah, cute and enjoyable in the moment is how I'd sum them up.
Yeah, besides those two, I actually also really liked the first one with Sonny's. But yeah, again,
in that category.
it's like what Stegan said. Like it goes a while and then you forget because it's like all of these songs. We have so many, but also wasn't it Smells Like Teen Spirit?
Weird Al's version smells
Yeah.
like Nirvana. Yeah, his
It was
version
a
sounds
little
closer to
closer
what they do.
To what it
But,
is too.
Yeah. Anyway, though. Okay, so let's close out with the question: where do we go from here?
Well, for me, I think it can make the fandom grow because it's still like there from last, and it can make old fans cry and like feel like there's still a little bit of sprinkle, a little bit of to keep them entertained from the old show, and the old characters is shining through in the new characters. So I think like it has a great possibilities of like really good episodes and a good future for even more fans.
Like specifically, because we end here. The main conflict is resolved. There are possible directions, but I mean, like, yeah, what did I write down? Are they still gonna have some trust issues? Are they still gonna be a little divided? Are there gonna be more specifics to work through? Is that the plot? Are there new conflicts that are gonna come up with new villains or some such as that?
I think definitely there's room for new villains or like Sprite to actually go the Starlight Glimmer route and go 2 times evil. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think like there could be definitely intertwining, maybe even. I don't know if they're going to bring some of the evil villains back, but I don't think so with them not having the main 6 no more.
But I do think any show that comes along next is gonna have to do a lot of the heavy lifting in making fans want to rally behind a show, because not only does this end with the main conflict resolved, okay, as far as a direction going forward, I mean, just think like, okay, with how many people rallied behind G4, just, okay, think what that picked as a starting point. The premise going forward from the G4 pilot is an introvert who is fairly people avoidant, is not looking to interact too much, not because she's Oscar the Grouch, not because she's Ebenezer Scrooge or whatever, because she's like most of you, because she just sort of prefers to bury herself in her passion, in the thing that she values, and is not that comfortable going out in a crowd. So the premise is someone like that runs face first into a brick wall of delightfulness, bonding with these characters who make her happy and who do want to get to know her and create just whole new experiences that she's not even used to feeling, getting hit with that and deciding that she wants more. And okay, that versus this, the premise going forward from here is, hey, we're all friends again, isn't that nice or something?
But this is the extrovert going out in the world and trying to follow up the people to her, and I know that she succeeds, but we also need to have more extra things. As I said, like this is the slices of cake. We need to go to the big cake.
Yeah, extrovert
now.
goes out and creates
Yes.
friendship. You can draw some cute aesthetic symmetry, some cute aesthetic comparisons.
Yes.
The point I'm talking about is what they left us with to get into moving forward. The G4 pilot had, like I said, that, okay, the premise, alright, we're gonna show you what happens when now this introvert tries to go out and get some more in everyday life of what she suddenly discovered she liked by being dropped face first into it in the pilot. Yeah, we're gonna see, okay, how much does she like it now that she's suddenly decided with with very little prior experience that she wants more. What's it gonna be like getting this thing that was more of this thing that was suddenly delightful day to day?
Okay.
This is like, okay, we're friends again. The premise is almost, where do we go from here?
No, like I think it will
G5.
go. Yeah, it will go with the going more into depth of why they became like enemies to start with. That's a big one. And also in the individual ponies, more of the individual ponies, so you can learn to love maybe Sprite. I don't know. I think like there's I think like there's just all of these possibilities, but I think like the movie itself is a combination of all of the old shows combined in one movie. Like they learn the same things, they go through almost the same stuff, it realizes with the same thing going on, besides like they resolve the conflicts before the MacGuffin helps them. Actually, Sunny resolved the problem before the MacGuffin helped and like turn everything beautiful. So there could also be
that was a little more clever than the G4 finale. The elements were just symbols. We think we're being deep by saying no, it's the friendship that was important, when in fact that's already what the show was saying, that friendship allows you to maybe with aid with the right tools create something great. We're saying no, friendship literally has the power to blow up your enemies, and fans are going to argue, well, they said they're symbols, maybe they're not quite saying that, but in which case, what's the point of even saying it, because it would otherwise be the same thing as earlier saying this, with the, okay, it's not just enough to have the right, MacGuffins, you need to also, be in the right frame of mind to use them. That was a little more clever.
But also, what I said, like, that could also be a really big one. Them discovering all of these unique items and make them work before, like, they work, or how to say that. There's also the different cities. We don't know a lot about the Unicorn City place, their magic. We can explore that more, and the Pegasus Town and the nuanced.
And there's a lot of directions they could go with getting crystals and stuff. But I mean, do you would you agree that the show is going to have to do the lifting and make people want that? It does not get any kind of head start that way from the movie here.
Well, with me, it's a little bit different because, like, I thought.
Oh yeah, you want to be optimistic, but I mean, does it? Like,
yeah, because at least for me, I will say, like, it keeps me interested enough to be like, ooh, I wanna see the show. Yeah, definitely. And the other way around with Twilight's stuff, all of the episodes made me want to see the movie that came out. Xaldin wasn't that good.
I mean, I'm curious what they're gonna do, but okay, I'd still say you're gonna have to really give us, like, answer that question for us. Okay, what are you gonna bring to the table for us? What do we have to care about?
And if you bring even more on the table for me, I'll just be a happy camper.
Alright, as per usual.
Yeah.
Sweet day lover.
Woo!
Okay, that should about do it.
Guys.
Good night, everybody.
Night night.